4.6 is about congruence in right triangles. Theorem 4.6 talks about the hypotenuse leg theorem. If the hypotenuse and leg of one right triangle are congruent to the hypotenuse leg of another right triangle, then the triangles are congruent. So in other words, when you're looking at these pictures, see how the leg right here, which is PQ, is congruent to XY, and the hypotenuse, which is across from the right angle, PR, is congruent to XZ. Okay, so it's always the hypotenuse is always across from the right angle. Problem 1 is about using the HL theorem. So they tell us that angle ADC, which is right here, and angle BDC, which is right here, are right angles. And they tell us that AC is congruent to BC. Is triangle ADC congruent to triangle BDC? So we need the hypotenuse and we need the leg. Well, let's look across the right angle. I use the corner of the box here to draw an arrow to my hypotenuse. So BC and AC are the hypotenuse of the respective triangles. Okay, so we have the hypotenuse. Do we have a leg? Well, again, if I take a look here, I've got DC. So since DC is congruent to DC by reflexive, since DC is congruent to DC by reflexive, okay, I can say that triangle ADC is congruent to triangle BDC by HL. Now, this is not a formal proof, but I just wanted us to talk about how you can come about with HL. Problem 2 is a proof using this. This is kind of an elaborate proof, and again, we're going to get into where these proofs get a little bit more and more elaborate as we go. So, it might have to take me a little bit of space as far as maybe the next page or something. But the statements here, again, use your givens. So let's go and say BE bisects AD at C. Well, what does that tell me when I'm using that? That would tell me that AC is congruent to DC, okay, by definition of bisector. Okay, so that gives me my hypotenuse and my leg, but I can't use that yet because now they give me AB is congruent to DE because of the given. So I might as well state that to DE because of given. So we've got the HL right there. The problem is you can't say that until you've talked about how they're right triangles. You have to tell me that, or you have to prove to the air exam people that it's a right triangle first and foremost. And this is where, again, using our given comes in. We're going to use this important piece of information right there. I'm going to say that AB is perpendicular to BC and DE is perpendicular to EC. Again, that would be given. Okay, so we got two givens in there, and what's going to be nice about this is when we go ahead and do this, you're going to use that perpendicular lines. Well, what do perpendicular lines tell us? And again, I apologize for having to switch, but a little bit of an elaborate proof. So statement 4, what I'm going to say is angle ABC. And if you go back, I don't know if this is going to work, but I can say that that angle is a right angle and that angle is a right angle now because of being perpendicular lines. So angle ABC and angle DEC are right angles by definition of perpendicular lines. Okay? So now we've established the fact that we have at least right angles, which means now I can say, since I have right angles in both triangles, I can say triangle ABC and triangle DEC are right triangles. And that's the definition of right triangle. 4, this is 5, of right triangle. Okay? And that tells me that those are right triangles. I don't need to know that in other proofs we've proved said that all right angles are congruent. I don't need that because I don't really need to say that the angles are congruent. So it's just kind of nice about this. Once I've stated that they're right triangles, now since I already have back over here, I have my hypotenuse in my leg right there, I can go ahead and state triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEC by HL. Okay, you don't need the by there, but you know what I mean. Okay, so again, it's a little bit of an elaborate proof, a little bit more of a different proof than we've done so far. But as you go through, it's the same kind of concept. You use the given that they give you, okay, and that helps you to lead you to solve the proof. Again, we used the fact that it bisect, we used the fact that it was perpendicular, and of course they told us some things were congruent, so we use that as well. Given leads you to solving your proof.